What's happening, my beautiful people? My name is LaBelle. Welcome back to the YouTube channel. Today I'm giving you 5 things you may have missed in regards to FIFA 22 Ultimate Team. I'm gonna break them down. Now this is official. Pull out the whistle. This is not speculation. However, I'm gonna offer my opinion, which does include some speculation, but based on a fact. If you like the content, and better yet, I've been giving away copies of FIFA 22. I might as well keep that rolling. Like the video if you're on board with the giveaway. I'm sure that you are. I want to give back to the beautiful folks as much as possible. That's you, and you, and you, and you. And in the comments, biggest announcement thus far for FIFA 22, because we've had quite a few in regards to pro clubs, career mode, ultimate team, which we're going to discuss, even gameplay functions. A lot of discussion has gone out. Opinions, biased and unbiased. Technically, if you have an opinion to a certain degree, there's some level of being biased. Not necessarily, just being subjective with the opinion. I'm having some self-reflection as we begin, as we get started. So I'm giving you 5. Division Rivals Revamp. Is this just a disguised new system? You're gonna ask me? You're curious? You want to know. EA made this big announcement in the trailer. In fact, roll that.
Division Rivals has an all-new seasonal progression system with win streaks, ranks, and a new elite division for the best players in the world. How you climb the ladder has completely changed. Divisions are now made up of stages and ranks. A win will advance you one stage, and if you're on a win streak, you'll progress even faster. Losses will move you back a stage unless you're on a checkpoint, which safeguards your progress and keeps you at the right level of competition for your skill level.
I've got mixed opinions, not necessarily in a negative format, but as a bit of a skeptic, because there are characteristics of Division Rivals and FIFA 22 that are going to carry directly over from FIFA 21. And something that I've always enjoyed about Seasons was sort of the grind, that going from Division 10 all the way up to Division 1. And maybe even more so, the amount of variety you had once you got to a high division. Because in more recent times, it's gotten so disgusting, so sweaty, just pure filth. Once I get to the highest division, that's my achievement for the year. I'm not gonna continue playing. It's not worth the rewards for me, and I know many of you watching share in that type of feeling or sentiment. That needs to have some sort of shift. I will say this with the win streak statement. In theory, you could win less games and still achieve a high ranking or would play into the finalized objectives. We now have a upper echelon division that is for only the most elite. It might only be the top 200 players. This hasn't been confirmed in terms of exactly how qualification works, but once you qualify for this elite division that's above Division 1, you're not leaving it based on the trailer and the pitch notes. And something that I found interesting is a season refresh. Just a moment. At the start of each season progression, resets to a lower division for all players. The division a player rolls back to will depend on which division they finished the previous season in. That's a contradicting statement. In theory, if you finished in Division 1, you also start the next season in Division 1, so there is no rollback or season refresh. Or am I misreading what this is? And if you're not familiar with Seasons, it was incorporated where we had all the objectives, and this goes on for 6 weeks. But from what I'm consuming, and this is why I said this Division Rivals revamp, to a certain degree, I think it could be just a disguised new system that incorporates functions from what we've already seen and experienced. Because once I get to Division 1, that is what it is for me. Or once I get to Elite, that's the final stage. Done, dusted. I'm not interested in playing more Rivals matches. Foot Champions points. And I made a video. It will be linked below if you have not watched. It's a much deeper dive. Foot Champions will never be the same. And I want to reiterate on that point in case this has been overlooked. Foot Champions is moving to a point system as opposed to just results. This means with wins and losses, you can receive fluctuating points based on the quality of your opponent, your opposition. something we have not experienced in any previous installment, with proper execution, and I'd like to put that with an asterisk. This will take efficiency to new levels and reward skill gaps. In fact, it just rewards assumed risk. I used a car example in the previous video. This time around, let's go with basketball. Let me paint a picture. I'm not talking about the shot clock or the timer. With the previous system, it didn't matter if your opponent was good, if they were bad, or somewhere in between. It was just simply about getting wins and moving on to the next game and then playing a few games early. And you were incentivized to avoid good competition, which should never be the case because it was only about the result, not about the quality of opposition. Now, back to the basketball example, it would be like if I hit a free throw, I only got one attempt, I get $50. But if I hit a three-pointer, I'm getting $100. Half-court heave, I'm getting $500. Do you see where I'm going? If I beat a lower-level opponent, it might even be a waste of a game for me because I'm not getting maximum points out of that matchup. I want the three-pointer. I might even want that half-court heave. Are we seeing eye to eye? Did that connect for you? Do you have an Allen Iverson crossover? We're talking about practice.
Talking about practice. Not a game. We talking about practice.
Foot Heroes. Been a big announcement. EA's definitely putting some emphasis in the marketing budget around these heroes. Are these guys going to be relevant? Yes, but not for the reason that you would assume or expect. They are chemistry holders. You get benefits. These are similar to cheap keys or cheap icons. They're gonna have that effect, especially early on, where you can get some powerful green links to bring together the squad, or just to bring together even a hybrid. Chemistry for Foot Heroes is unique compared to other player items. Foot Heroes belong to the Heroes Club, but have their featured league from the real world. This opens up some great squad building combinations that weren't possible before. And that's what I want to stress, because many of you look at the players, the 20 that have been announced, and say they're not going to be usable. They're not going to be a factor. This is how they're going to be incorporated, my friends. These are the 20 Foot Heroes that are official. How many are actually going to be valuable in terms of virtual pitch contribution? I'm saying 3 to 5. Let's round up. Let's say 5. 25% then in total. And most exciting, hands down, for yours truly is Di Natale. Many of you watching this, or I hope so, remember Di Natale and Mikali as a combo unit. Special partnership, terrifying in the upfront triangle if you've played foot throughout some of the years. I also believe the masses want the likes of Joe Cole to have a certain insert, value, ins, out, kills with bills. But any of these guys don't fit FIFA meta. Even when you look at the likes of Lundberg, I remember when he was an icon, wasn't prevalent, wasn't active. You want Super Mario with Gomez to make moves, but I'm not sure that I see it. How many are you saying? Which players? Which heroes? That's why I keep building and discussing and really trying to point out the value is in the chemistry. You get an above average player that brings together a special unit, but you're not getting a standout or a top tier icon, especially not after some of the promos that are gonna drop. The Foot Hero usage rate will deter or fall off, have a recession rather quickly. The novelty is in the chemistry. That's what I'm stressing. Co-op public matchmaking question. I've got 2. Number 1, can this game mode file in or be connected to objectives and unlocking those objectives, which makes the grind a little more fun if you're doing it with a friend. Plus, both of you are then unlocking that objective. You're receiving the season benefits. And number 2, which I feel might answer number 1, you cannot use your own squad. My +1 doesn't use my team, I don't use their team. So what kind of teams are being provided? And that's where I have to play devil's advocate and say, how can you section this off or somehow include co-op matchmaking with objectives when there are always details, restrictions, squad rules with objectives? This will be a great idea with average execution at best. You can put that on a shirt, you can quote me. I love the concept behind playing with friends and having more customization, trying out players, the uniqueness, the community building, all of that golden ticket, Willy Wonka. But I can see the Reddit post now. Not trying to put out any negative energy, just being transparent. Stadium customization searches. This is still an Ultimate Team. We've added new search filters for authenticity in color. With the authentic filter, you can find stadium customization items tied to real life leagues, clubs, and custom content. With the color filter, you can search by primary and secondary colors to narrow down your search results. These filters will be available in both club searches and the transfer market. This is foreshadowing. It's going to save you time, save you frustration. Of course, from the stadium customization portion of Ultimate Team, but even more so, expect some different search optimization when you're getting into the traditional transfer market that deals with player selection and characteristics and those additional in-game allocations and measurables. Thanks again for watching. Let me know, what are your thoughts? Comment below what has been most impressive thus far with FIFA 22. Maybe you're not impressed. That's perfect as well. Let's have that discussion. Overall, this is going to be our first look at what next gen has to offer in pretty much every element, from the menus to the loading screens to the gameplay to the graphics to all the intricacies and the intimate portions of FIFA. This is our first glimpse, because with FIFA 21, say what you want, you love it, you hate it, nothing was ready from a next gen whatsoever. Sony wasn't ready, Microsoft wasn't ready. I'm talking from even a console perspective. More than half of you watching do not have the new Xbox or the new PS5. Tell me I'm lying, I'll stop. They're not easy to get. There's still a complete resale market because of the difficulty to get these consoles. So of course the game wasn't ready, the build out wasn't there, and we can't blame EA. You still gotta have access. Everyone was struggling for access and time, and it's been a really weird time around the world. With all that being said, I know that we will be heavily critical around FIFA 22. Expect judgment, because that's just part of being a member of the community. And I have a lot more content coming out ASAP.